Okay. 06A. This is probably the first one that will... Now actually with the new routes, there are earlier points where you probably run into trouble, but this one is actually quite difficult to learn, I think. Unless you have source experience. So first come over here to this rock kind of. You can also drop down there and try to go all the way. And there are two ways of doing this. There's UXpress new way, which I'm not too good at, where you ASH into this side, and you see I'm not really good at it. Let's try it one more time. Yeah. And the old way, where you try to ASH into this side of the rock, and it will boost you all the way up over to the other side. Like this. Careful that you get over here. Careful that you don't land in there. And when you hit this side, hold like whatever is back in this case, like I'm just holding D, and sprint. That will reduce your speed a lot, so you don't splat on the ground. So from here on, since once again this is a really short map, we'll continue with the next one. We want to get into the loading zone and over the fence. There are two ways of doing this. One requires HP and an SMG grenade, and the faster way doesn't, which I'm going to show off, I think, the first, because I don't have enough HP. So you circle strafe, ASH 3 times, and then that was wrong. Those were really bad hops. So you circle. Wow, okay. You want to go fly into this wall. Anyway, I managed to mess it up, so I'm going to, don't splat, show you the other way, which I can't do right now. You can grenade boost over this fence. This fence is higher than it looks. The clip rush is really high. So I cannot do this right now. Holy shit. Oh, wow. There we go. And then that loading screen completely screwed me over. Okay. Okay, and then you fly over here and you can land somewhere like here. The grenade boost will try to land between this rock and this wall. Careful not to surf into this hole, you can't get out. And from here on, there are two ways to do this. Especially if you do the grenade way, you probably would like to do this rather. Where you come over here and you go all the way over here. There's a curve in the clip rush. Over here. This way. And then you go over here. And just drop down here. Actually, I think you can drop down on the first rocks. You do all of this because we skipped Alex. We left Alex behind. So if we go this way, we will hit a trigger which tells us we need to wait for Alex, and the game just reloads. So I showed you this way of skipping the trigger. There are two different ways to do this from this side, where you ASH this way, then AFH into this hill. That's probably the fastest but also the hardest one. You would, well, that was not supposed to happen, but yeah, you would go over and then you need to slow bug, which is something that I also will explain once I get a good launch. This is good enough. Slow bug is, there's a slope here, which I missed. And if you fly into a slope from a good enough angle like this, you will just surf it up. See, this is angled. And if I come from this direction and hit the slope, I will just surf it up instead of dying. This also works on the side, only the side of the train. And everything that has a curve. Obviously on stuff like this, it would be really hard to aim for that. Okay, I mentioned 2 ways, so let me show you the other way, which is probably a lot easier. I think it also has a setup. I can remember it. So, say this happens, you can come over to this rock, and then ASH just into this, and also slowpoke. If you have enough HP, you can also just land, but you usually don't. So I think my setup was this white thing next to the rock, and then I think this white dot that you can barely see through the trees, and then just ABH backwards. Yeah. From here on, you also just slowpoke. Okay, then you come into this tunnel, or this side. Usually this is better. And while we're going through the tunnel, we need to look kind of into the tunnel, like not just straight. We need Alex to spawn, and she only spawns if we do that. Like if we just look straight, she usually doesn't spawn. So from here on, just ABH all the way into the tunnel to the end, and there you see Alex spawn for me. Okay. Cool. And this is part of the next video, so yeah.